Okay, good morning. I'm going to give you a very brief introduction to GIPWE and WECM. I know being in higher education, you know we always use acronyms, but I guess what's even worse is that we use them as words. So when we say GIPWE, WECM, zip code, everything like that, it's sometimes confusing, but we develop our own language. A brief history of the workforce education courses before the WECM. Prior to WECM, localized workforce education courses and programs were independently developed by colleges to serve the needs of a local region. And we found there were thousands of seemingly disconnected courses, varying lengths, outcomes, and credit length, that it really didn't show that we had some courses that were very similar, but we couldn't tell from one college to another what the content of those courses were. And it was difficult to assess whether the courses met the statewide needs of the business and industry or the needs of the individual students. As we came up with or just before my time, the coordinating board came up with a project funded by federal Perkins funds. And this is back in 1995. The funds were used to develop a state inventory of workforce education courses that were comprised of online web-based, or that was located on an online web-based catalog that showed the course descriptions and end-of-course outcomes for these courses. The end-of-course outcomes, or previously called the learning outcomes, describe the minimum level of knowledge and skills that a student would achieve upon successfully completion of the course. Each college could add additional outcomes and assessment methods. And again, the whole purpose of developing this standardized set of courses was to address business and industry needs for qualified workers, individual student needs in pursuit of jobs and career opportunities. From 1995 through 1998, the WECM project, under the capable leadership of Dorothy McNutt, used input from over 1,000 instructors across the state and several administrators, about 370 administrators from two-year colleges, to develop this work. Again, the purposes of the WECM provide quality and consistency of courses, provide flexibility in responding to employer needs. Rather than a college having to develop a course that an employer needed, they could look in the manual and find one that was already available and then just use that. These were pre-approved courses. Also helped with the portability of credits and credentials from one community college to another. Notice that we didn't really focus on transfer because these are not necessarily SACS-approved transfer courses, but there was some kind of portability where if a student took a welding course in Amarillo, they could still use it in a program if they transferred to, say, Houston or other college. The most important thing is that we incorporated industry-established skill standards in each of these courses so that employers could also understand what the student learned when they see the course on the transcript, and using the course manual they could find out what exactly the student learned. The structure of a WECM course, again, the information in the online catalog. We use the zip code. CIP code is kind of the category number for the course. We use the course title, level. We have 3 levels, so introductory, intermediate, and advanced. Talk about the course description and the end-of-course outcomes that kind of describe what is being taught in each course. If a course is developed that we assume there are certain prerequisites that should come before that course, those are recommended. We don't have any required prerequisites in order to give colleges flexibility. We have a course hour range. Instead of, some colleges may teach it for 2 lab hours, 2 lecture, 2 lab. Some may teach it for 2 lecture, 4 lab hours per week. So we give a flexibility by giving a contact hour range rather than a specified number of contact hours. And if a course is recommended or required by a licensing or certification agency, we'll list that information in the course description also. The rubrics and numbers are somewhat based on, similar to the common course number, where the first digit correlates to the course level. Again, since we have 3 levels, but only 2 1,000, 2,000 level courses, there's a kind of a distribution of courses. Introductory will be from like 1,300 to 1,339. Intermediate would be 1,340 to 1,359 for first year introductory courses, and 2,300 to 2,329 for second year introductory courses. Again, these are just guidelines. We don't specify which year or which semester a college has to assign a course. They may put it in the first year or second year. And then from 2,330 to 2,359, these are the advanced courses. And again, these are just recommended levels, but they specify that what kind of outcomes an introductory course would have fewer high-level outcomes than an advanced course, for example. Second digit identifies the the credit hours. 1,300 course would be a 3 credit hour course. CE courses, continuing education, workforce courses are designated by a 0 in the second digit. And third and fourth establish the type of course. Like I say, the 00 to 59 are just lecture lab, regular courses. 60 through 63 are clinical courses. 64 to 69 are practicum. 70 to 79 are reserved for local need courses. 80 to 85 are cooperative education. 86 to 89 are internships. And then 90 through 99 are reserved for special topics courses. Again, we mentioned the local need and special topics courses. The special topics courses are pre-approved courses. They are established in the WECM with kind of a placeholder. The course number is, pre-approved. So the main purpose of these is to address topics that are not found in other WECM courses. Topics may address recently identified current events, skills, and knowledge that are pertinent to the technical area and relevant to the occupational development of the student. In addition, we have local need courses. Now, these are courses that a college must apply for to get approval. And these are specific topics that are taught repeatedly or consistently over time. And there's apparently not a statewide use for these courses. So if it's a local area that suddenly has an industry that needs a certain type of course that isn't already addressed in the WECM, they can write a local need course. Again, these must be workforce related, and the college must apply at least 30 days in advance. And these courses are put in their local college inventory. They're not statewide courses. Course review workshops. Generally, every year, we have a schedule of courses that are reviewed. And the review is usually triggered by different events. If there are emerging technologies, changes in current technologies, if we notice an extraordinary number of special topics or local need courses in a certain area, then for various reasons, these set of courses will be reviewed. And in one of the most recent changes in the procedure, we're grouping these courses by the career cluster model. And that's trying to get as many similar courses as possible reviewed in the same workshop. This will help, or the intention is to help review shared courses by different programs that use the same course, and also to reduce the amount of duplicated courses where in one certain area or in several different areas they might use the same course but with just a different title or rubric, but it's really the same outcomes. And we're trying to limit those to, pare those down to, prevent duplication. The results of the workshops and other information about the workshop, we have the WECM protocols, which describes how courses are selected for review, as well as the review process, and also the makeup of the WECM Leadership Committee, which is the advisory committee for the WECM project. And all this information is on the website at the WECM 2000 link shown there. And again, this is in the handout that you received. Also want to talk about briefly about the guidelines for instructional programs in workforce education. Again, an acronym is the GIPWE. This is the Coordinating Board Policy Manual. It's not exactly legislative or statutory, but what we try to do is we look at different areas of regulation, either it was SACS regulation or coordinating board rules, and we try to summarize these we try to make it a readable format where we can try to interpret different rules and regulations. Again, the GIPWE covers associate degrees, Associate of Applied Science and Associate of Applied Arts, Level 1 and Level 2 workforce certificates, and institutional certificates and marketable skills awards. And again, these are certificates, maybe either credit or continuing education, as long as they're workforce certificates. Again, these guidelines don't apply to the academic associate and certificate programs, such as the Associate of Arts, Associate of Science, or the field of study. And briefly, we try to update the GIPWE about once every 2 years. It's a bit due for a new update, so the new changes should be coming up shortly. Again, the contents of the GIPWE basically cover institutional and personnel requirements. Again, these are, instructor credentials and things like that are taken from SACS guidelines and state law. Try to summarize. We also talk about the workforce program elements, the elements of a good program, best practices, as well as some SACS requirements, like associate degree must have 15 general ed course, 15 hours of general education. Also talk about the new program review process and program revision process. And in the upcoming update to the GIP, we will also be talking about the program review, such as the low producing programs and the existing program performance reviews, which we'll be talking about shortly. But since these are such new review processes, we haven't written them into the GIPWE yet, but in the next version of the GIPWE, these will be hopefully summarized in a helpful manner. And if you have questions, you can contact me by email or phone, or again, I'll be available after this session to answer any questions you might have. Okay, thank you.